Testing, 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 testing. I would like to have a little rant about selfish people because I seem to be surrounded by selfish people. Day of recording November 6th, 7th, and I still don't know how I can tackle this topic. It's like insane. But let's go back. For most of my life, I lived pet free, aka I didn't have any other life under my care, under my responsibility in any capacity from age 7 to age 41. That's like 80% of my life so far. And then I came back here in my home village in Transylvania, Romania, although I am Hungarian, Magyar Székely, to take care of my elderly father who is alcoholic, and all he does all day is sleep, and when he's awake he's drinking to the point where he drank 60 liters of palinka, if not more, and threatened to bash my head with his chair when I announced him that his palinka source was gone, that he drank it all because he's a chronic alcoholic. On top of that, his main characteristic is that he's prone to anger, on top of being selfish. But I'm gonna get back to that. And with this change of life, coming back here to take care of him, I inherited the responsibility of taking care of them, two adult dogs and one cat. One of the adult dogs, the male, was brutally assaulted by three bigger dogs here in the village and was killed and left to die on the road. Had the neighbor lady not called my attention and called me to go get his corpse and bury it, which I did in the orchard in the backyard. And then I was left with, but by the time that happened, he did produce two puppies, which are now 1 year old. If you hear background voices in foreign language, my house is basically across the street from the kindergarten in the village, so you might hear stuff. Anyway, so then from two dogs, I was upgraded to four dogs and one cat. Negro, and no, it's not meant to be a slur, it means black in Latin. Get over yourself. Fidus, the mom. We had Papuch, Slippers, the girl, and Black Diamond, the boy. Named by my father, obviously, because he claimed them as his dogs, which they were. And so I cared for them, but I never emotionally bonded with them that hard. I didn't get attached to them that hard because they were my father's dogs, not my dogs. I kept that sacred distanciation, although I could have, but they were not mine, so I didn't even bother getting attached to them, which is still the occurrence today. I take care of them, I pet them, I play with them, they love me, but deep in my heart, I do not love them as much as I loved the small batch, which is the next chapter. Dogs being dogs, and around here we do not neuter animals. Fidus got pregnant this time by, I heavily suspect, three different dogs, because we had a batch of 5 puppies, two sets of two, and one girl. Anna was definitely Negro's daughter because she is, I don't know, somebody snatched her. I'm gonna tell the story in the next chapter. She was pure black with just barely the tip of her paws white, as is Slippers, although Slippers has most of like 1/4 of her legs white, almost like she has little boots on. That's why we called her Slippers. Her first name was like Poppin' Boots, like Puss in Boots, but puppy in boots sort of thing, Chismash, which is mean someone who's wearing boots, but then that opted for slippers, which is Pahuch. And so Fidus gave birth to the small batch on June 23rd, 2025. We had originally they were all like blackish with a black coat, but then two of them shed that black coat and they were more like brown with golden undertone and definitely paler than Fidus because Fidus has like a bit of black in hers and a bit of white. So we had the two brown ones named Medve and Mickey. Medway had a white paw. Mickey was pure brown with golden accents. And he was also a little smaller than Medway. The other set, I'm definitely suspecting Doberman fathers because we do have 3 Doberman in the village belonging to one villager. And so then 2 of them, Malachi and Manson, were black but with those brown Doberman accents. And especially Manson had 2 little brown spots above his eyes that were like so cute and so typically, Doberman style. And so since I was there, I was here when Slippers and Diamond were born, but I didn't get involved in their early care as much as I did with the small ones. Although I did give Slippers and Diamond their canned food like every morning, but I just didn't get emotionally attached because they were not mine. Whereas with the small batch, I was constantly worried for them because Fidus would move them secretly in the night from their birthing location in one of the buildings on the property to another building and hide them under like this pallet or something. And then she moved them to the garage building thingy under the pallet where we have boxes. And then she moved them again. So it was like, and I'm definitely suspecting that she was worried that negro, again, not the slur, it's Latin for black, the one father who fathered Slippers and Diamond would attack the babies, not recognizing them as his own progenitor or his own offspring, because Medve, Mickey, Manson, and Malachi were definitely from other fathers. Which is, I don't even know how the hell this happened, but Fidus gave birth to like 2 sets of twins and then 1. So it's like 3 different fathers for like the batch of 5 puppies that she gave birth to. And so they were not a full month old or maybe a month old when she stopped giving them milk because it was too much for her to handle. So I took over and I gave them milk, store-bought, like the 3.25%, the richest I could get for them. And then canned food and just carrying them from their birthplace age to the front yard. We have like the puppy bus, which is like a wooden woven basket that we use to collect grapes, and I use them as the puppy bus to transport them from that place to the front yard. I built them a little playing den thingy, improvised, not built, improvised one. And I was just constantly with them, flea treatment. At first, just with the comb and washing them, no chemicals because they were like not even a month old, and just they were always in my arms, and I was caring for them. I gave them their names: Medve, Mickey, Manson, Malachi, and Anna from Anna Karenina. And so I really bonded with these dogs. I really loved them from the depths of my heart. They were always in my arms, and when they grew a little bigger, when they hit their New York rat size, format and shape, I used to like just scoop them up and shout joyfully, "Puppy napped!" as in kidnapped, but for puppies, and rock them in my arms as if they were real babies, and sing them little songs. Like Mickey had the Tony Basil, "Hey Mickey, you're so fun, you blow my mind, hey Mickey, hey Mickey," and he really loved that. Like he somehow understood that it was his special song. And when it was October 11th, which is Manson Reed from The Dare and Losers Part 1 and 2 from Harley LaRue, when it was his birthday in the book. So, and my Manson was named after that Manson. On October 11th, I sang him happy birthday because it was his special bonus birthday on top of the regular birthday that I celebrated like every month with the whole five of them. I would often pick them up, have them on my lap. We would what? Manson had a moment where I was watching doing the Spice Redux edition on YouTube. Vladimir Harkonnen was on the screen, and Manson would just like would bark at him, like hated his balls, his guts, everything, and that was like the cutest shit ever. Like this puppy was 2 or 3 months old, I think three at that point, and he just knew that Baron Vladimir Harkonnen was not a good guy. So I don't know what he disliked in him specifically, but when the Baron was on the screen, Manson would just like bark at him like, "Nope, I don't like this guy," which was the cutest shit ever. I would have also Medway in my arms, and while I was working on my previous story project, he would like have his little paw on my arm, just casually resting like he owned me, literally, and just like surveil the screen and just be peacefully in my arms, chilling. And it was just a typical pet mom and baby puppy moment, like peaceful, serene, and I guess they could feel my love because they were always in my foot. Not only that I provided food and shit, but wherever I would go, they were in my feet literally, and I needed to constantly look down because I once or twice stepped on their foot and it was like I felt heartbroken that I would hurt them. So I like scooped them up and apologized profusely and kissed the top of their heads and their cheeks and everything just to like apologize and show them that I was really sorry and that it was not intentional at all. Medve was the one who really initiated licking my face off, my nose, my cheeks, everything. Mickey followed all. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Black Diamond had a little PTSD memory moment. He was brutally attacked by dogs from beyond the orchard, and so he's now having these moments where he remembers or falls asleep and has a bad dream. His right ear has a hole in it. It's stupid mangled, and his neck area was also bitten, but he's like doing a little better now. But still, it's just hard on him. Anyway, so back to the puppy. So Medve was the one who initiated the licking my face off thing, and then Mickey did a little bit of that. But Manson and Malachi never really did it, which I wonder if they like sort of felt that I did love them, but that Mickey and Medve were like my special babies because they were like so soft. And yes, I did have favorites. I'm sorry, I'm a bad mom. I did love them all, but I did really have a preference for Medve and Mickey because of their coat being so soft and warm when I had them in my arms. And so, yeah, having taken care of them for all that time, and obviously, okay, so I know it hurts, but I need to get rid of this. In the meantime, I'm also cleaning Diamond's scarred wounds here on this neck area. Okay, so what really annoys me in hindsight and after the fact is that instead of giving me guidance and education and knowledge and info and tips and everything and urging me to get the puppies vaccinated at 3 weeks and then 6 weeks, or just like give me the information that they need to be vaccinated at 3 weeks, all that everybody told me is that 5 puppies is too much and I need to get rid of them. Like, thank you so very fucking much for not giving even a consideration that yes, I want to keep them and I want the experience and everything. It's too much. Not a single fucking soul ever considered the thought of just saying if you're gonna keep them, you need to vaccinate them because whatever reason. Like, nobody ever bothered. And it's just like, give me the information and I will decide if I want to keep them and vaccinate and care for them or if I want to get rid of them. Like, give me the fucking knowledge, the options. Nobody did. And that's level one selfishness for me. Keeping me ignorant, full knowing that I never had a pet under my care because I keep telling everybody that it's a new experience for me. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody bothered. 5 years too much, get rid of them. Dig a hole, dig a ditch, dump them in, no worries. Like, that's the mentality here. And when I told my sister, who's still back in Canada, who had cats, and who has a cat now, even she told me 5 is too much, what I'm gonna do, I can't keep them. She never considered informing me that if I do decide to keep them, I need to ask a vet or have a vet see them and vaccinate them, and nobody goddamn told me. And now I have a personal grudge against every fucking one of those retarded souls, selfish cunts, who knew the situation, ABC, and never even bothered informing me of what I need to do. And I also put a part of the blame on myself because I never asked any AI and I didn't Google what I should do as a new pet parent. Because around here people are almost a little reckless with their pets or their dogs, and like in North America, you apparently, or like as per Google and everything, a puppy is supposed to eat puppy food for like the first year and shit. Around here, these puppies, after the breakfast milk, they were already crunching on the adult kibbles by noon or the afternoon. So it's like instead of having those hard kibbles um, to like ruin their baby teeth, at least I will give them canned food. And they were devouring that shit like their life depended on it. I mean, that they're puppies, they're growing, they need energy, they need food, but around here, puppies are not as, I mean, yes, they're the same weakness, but they're not as spoiled and not treated, not infantilized as puppies and pets are in North America or Canada or USA or whatever. And so I blindly, stupidly, recklessly, ignorantly trusted that everything would be okay and that when they would be old enough, at least 6 months, I would ask a vet to like see them, check them out if things okay, maybe have a flea treatment, or if I have like if they need antibiotics or something, or because I did buy flea treatment powder and then the spray. I did spray them when they were like 2 to 3 months old. I waited as per whatever I had found not to give them treatment too early on because they were like still babies and fragile and shit. So I I bought this anti-flea treatment comb, and I was combing them like daily and washing them every other day to like get rid of the fleas. But since the adult have them too, and since their sleeping place, the hay might have some, they always had some of them. But I did try my best with what I had, with what I gathered as information, to help them as much as I could, and I waited the proper time to treat them not to be dangerous for them. And I wish that this small courtesy was extended to me in the beginning when they knew that I had puppies. Don't forget to call the vet. They need to be vaccinated if you want to keep them. It's just that if you want to keep them, get the vaccine done. Like, is that so fucking much to ask for? Apparently it was. And then, chapter 2, my father's selfishness. Even though I repeated him multiple times the names of the puppies, it was just too much to ask for him to bother to remember a simple name like Medve, which is Hungarian for bear, or Anna. Anna is too difficult to remember, so he renamed her a Hungarian female name. or maybe it's sheer defiance or just disrespect for me as their mom who gave them names. He named Fidus, he named Negro, he named Black Diamond, he named Slippers, on top of the two previous dogs that he had. And those he remembered their names. But when I gave this small batch their names, that was too much to bother. Even if one of the names Medved was actually an homage to my childhood dog, which he brought back from the fucking mountains to serve as a family yard guard dog, because the Transylvanian mountain dogs are pretty fucking big. They're solid. They are like the German Shepherd, but bigger and mountain dogs. Anyway, so that's one. And it's just on one. Okay, so he did nickname Medve Gumbet, which is sort of like a dumpling, like in the food thingy. And I do appreciate the pet name, but he never once called him by his real name, Medve, which is just infuriating and selfish and disrespectful, both for the dog and for me. Like, he never bothered speak his name once. He called them little dog or like variations of that, but never his name. It's like, do you hate the name, or do you hate me, or do you hate the dog, or what? Why can't you bother remembering his name? Or completely renaming Anna for a female name because Anna is apparently too complicated to remember. It's just disrespectful and selfish, and I hate it. Then, and also, father, dad, a selfish asshole, who was a fucking veterinarian in a village or serving multiple villages here in rural Romania, who was a vet for most of his life because he loves animals. He didn't even fucking bother telling me to like call the vet and have them checked and that they need to be vaccinated early on. Not a fucking peep, not a word, not a thought, not a nothing, never. And so, on one hand, I do understand that he's alcoholic and that his brain is rotten, but if he loves animals so much, wouldn't he have bothered to remember? And the vet had visited us last year or earlier this year, I don't know when, to check on Fidus and Negro and have them anti-worm pills and shit. So that has to some extent a form of knowledge, even if his brain is completely rotten. But not even him bothered to warn me that if you're gonna keep the puppies, you need to vaccinate them. And I found that insulting, completely insulting. At this point, I'm taking it personal because he was a vet. He had dogs most of his life, except when we lived in Canada. But as soon as he came back here, he had dogs, and he claims to love them. But his words are empty bullshit. So maybe I shouldn't have given that any credit. And then they somehow got the parvovirus. It started with Mickey, and here I am blaming myself completely. I should have called the vet the minute I realized Mickey was not eating breakfast. Because although he was a recluse, he was very enthusiastic with his breakfast. He loved it. The five of them always rushed like freaking maniacs or like a bullet shot by a gun to the morning plate to have breakfast. I should have been concerned when Mickey didn't show appetite for breakfast. Yes, he was the smallest ish compared to his brother, Medve, but he would eat breakfast. I would make sure the five of them all have their place around the circular plate and that they would eat. I should have right on called, and maybe I could have saved them, or at least offered myself the illusion that I really did everything in my power to save them. And so Mickey got sick, and He was shivering, and this followed like a rainy night where they were outside because they always sleep on the concrete step just in front of the door because they refuse to go to a warm, dry, secluded place because they're like so loyal to us. And I tried to lock them in the basement where it's dry and warm and safe, but they go bonkers, especially Fiddles, who doesn't like to be attached or closed in. And I really, so when I heard his breathing was laborious and difficult, I thought he just got a little cold and maybe a little not pneumonia, but like just a not an infection, but just like an inflammation or something. So I would keep him inside and give him milk, and he would recover. Everything was hunky dory, just a little scared. I should have paid more attention, called the vet sooner, get him checked because not only was he losing appetite completely, even refusing milk on the second or third day, he was losing weight, he was lethargic, he wasn't playing with his brothers, he was like a shadow of himself. And I should have worried harder than at the level that I had worried for him. I kept him in a warm blanket, and I tried to like keep him close to me to keep him warm, but that wasn't sufficient. And then when I decided to move him in the house to keep him warm with me, it was already too late. He was throwing up the white bubbly stuff and then yellow stuff and then shitting blood. And like, I mean, he did piss, like regular piss, but then when he shot, it was pure liquid. Like at first it was brown liquid and then it was red liquid. So I called the vet in emergency. All of them got their first shot that should have been given when they were like 3 weeks old. They all got antibiotics. Mickey got extra fluids to like hydrate him. The vet left me a syringe that I could force some water into his mouth because to avoid dehydration, but that wasn't sufficient. And even though I kept Mickey with me the whole night in my room, keeping check on him, keeping check on his temperature, if he had fever, so I asked Grok, and Grok suggested like a damp towel between on his crotch, on his armpits. I did that to like monitor and regulate his temperature as best as I could, keeping him mostly in my arms. I didn't sleep that night, or maybe 5 hours. I kept him on my bed with me in my arms and rushing him to throw up on paper towels that I had folded on the floor when he needed to. But he eventually just had a last, almost like a seizure, which I was afraid he was having a seizure. But he had like a little trembling of his lower or hind legs, how you call it, the back legs, and made like weird noises and just passed away in my arms. And that was heartbreaking. And I did keep his body until it was cold on my bed because I couldn't bear myself to like bring him down to the yard and just leave him there as soon as his soul had left his tiny little body. Well, not tiny, but his little body. And so it was just rough. And this happened on the 29th of October. For a day or two, things were fine. The other ones were still fine. They were playing, they were eating. Then one morning, I noticed that Medve, Mickey's brother, like brown golden, exact match, brother, same father, he wasn't eating breakfast. He wasn't interested. He threw up whatever he had eaten that morning, later in the afternoon, and that was like, oh shit. So then I called, and he definitely had lost weight too. I noticed that because Bedford was like my chunky little bear cub, and he was really chunky, like chunky, and he had lost weight. I noticed instantly like his weight was different. So I texted the vet. The vet came, checked his stamp. He was feverish. So back to the cycle of having Medve and checking his breathing was laborious and hard, and the same raspy breathing that Mickey has was like, oh fuck. And yeah, same thing, parvo. So I had Medve and Manson, who also had the same symptoms, in my room that night to like have them warming, monitor their temperature. I didn't have a thermometer then, so I checked their paws. When it was too hot, I would use the damn towels. When it was cold or my a normal-ish temperature compared to a healthy dog, I would have like a blanket or my blue sweater on them to like keep them warmish and safe, and I had them in my arms whenever I could. Again, another sleepless night, but eventually Medve and Manson also passed away in the night of November 1st or very early morning on the 2nd. I was asleep. I sadly didn't wake up when that happened. And then remained Malachi, the the biggest one after Anna, who's potentially still alive. I will come back to that. Malachi was the biggest of the four remaining brothers, but he passed away in the afternoon of November 2nd. And that was the last straw for me, and I just absolutely lost it. And I'm still dealing with the void and the emptiness that they had left behind. And it's just so difficult because I had loved these puppies more than as if they were just puppies. I loved them as if they were my own children. I was the surrogate mother for the 4 months that I had the blessing of taking care of them. I would always, like, not always, but I would scoop them up and rock them, kiss their heads, kiss their cheeks, little boop on the nose, or just, pet them, play with them, scratchy, and I would always talk with them, like having a little pee pee or poopy whoopy when they're having a little poop, crunchy when they were like having a little of the adult kibbles or breakfast, calling them to play nice when they were like too rough with each other, and when Malachi would almost bite me. Well, I mean, his father is a Doberman, so I wasn't surprised, but Malachi was really bitey. He had a strong bite, and I did allow him up until my whatever I could tolerate in terms of pain from a 3-month-old puppy biting me. I was his favorite chew toy, and I let him because he was my baby. And as for Anna, since I don't have a proper segue, so here in rural Romania, we have what we call sureteri. It's when we collect the grapes in the vineyard, which happens in the late September, early October. I have an orchard with a couple of apple trees, plum trees, and I have walnut trees in the back past the vineyard, on top of the vegetable garden, which is almost like a plot of land on its own. But anyway, so past the orchard with the apple trees and the pear trees, we have a vineyard with 5 rows of couple variant sorts of grapes. And so I sold some to locals in the village twice. And then came three couples, on 2 occasions from the city to buy some that I put up on a Facebook group about the local market and shit. And so on either Saturday or Sunday I think, was the second couple coming in, and I'm blame myself for this completely. I am responsible for this. I did close the gate, but I didn't make sure that the locks, the part that so you have the handle, but you have that little part that really goes in the opening, that when you twist down the handle, that little part goes in or out. that little part wasn't out, so the gate could be pushed open, and Black Diamond pushed the door open, the gate door open, and he had a wild run in the orchard in a vineyard, and Anna followed suit because she was a rebellious, freedom-loving puppy like her father was and like her brother is. The boys were locked in what I call the bakery, which is like a room glued to the house, which is dilapidated. But anyway, she somehow had escaped along with Medve. They somehow like maybe jumped on something and escaped by the window, which doesn't have it's just like a hole in the wall, like square shape. And although before, when when this has occurred, she was very stranger danger aware and stood clear of strangers that would come in the front or in the yard past the first gate. She would keep like a safe distance between herself and strangers. But given the temptation of exploring outside the safety of the property, her curious instinct took hold of her, and she followed her brother. They probably diverted, I don't know. Diamond came back, Anna didn't. So I went after her. I looked around, but nowhere to be found. I called out to her. I had sweated that day, so I took my t-shirt full of sweat and I like waved it around to like hopefully have the wind carry my scent to like help her get back to the property so I could snatch her and get her back to a safe place. But that never happened. I left the t-shirt around like on the top of the gate to like have my scent vivid for sometimes if she would eventually come back. And but I had doubts. I had drawn tarot cards, and the cards were well the ones. So 10 of cups, five of pentacles. She was no longer happy. She was deprived, left alone from her happy place, which was her family. And I'm gonna have the cards to illustrate. Like I used the wheel of the year, which is very imagery rich. So at first she was happy, blissful, and now she's all alone in the rain, abandoned, without her source of happiness. Which, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I don't know where. Like, she must have been afraid and lonely, and I mean, she was 4 months old. It's like a 4-year-old toddler lost in the wild with no longer her brothers and her mom, or her two moms in this case. And so the next set of cards had the devil, toxicity, but in this deck it's a couple intertwined with rose thorns, so chained, bound. Then the Queen of Pentacles, a wealthy woman, like a well of nurturing woman. And then the Nine of, I don't know which, but it was again a card where a man was tying a scarecrow. So intuitively, I know that she had been snatched and tied. Like she was being kept by someone, woman, nurturing, well off, but still attached. Like kept and attached so she wouldn't run away, so she wouldn't have a chance of coming back home to her family. And so I had to grieve that, and I that was one of the worst weeks since I had them. I lost one of my babies, and even though I hadn't bonded that strongly with Anna as I did with her brothers, it was still concerning because I did love her, and to me, she is still a toddler that is lost, that shouldn't be out there in the wild, kidnapped. And so I was worried for her, heartbroken, and then I loved the boys even more because I had lost one child, quote unquote. And then Parvo hit them, and Mickey, Medve, Matson, Malachi, in this order, and it was just horrendous. And then, although I made posts on X and Facebook, people just didn't give a shit about my pain and my grieving, and the way they just keep demanding my attention as if nothing happened, as if they were top priority, just pushed me over the edge, and now I'm just ignoring everybody. Like, fuck off, screw you. If all I am to you is a source to validate your need for attention, go fuck yourself. And not even with all due respect, just go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit. They just like drop me links of their AI generated songs and music and shit as if like begging for attention and a like and a comment. Like, yeah, but it's not organic. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And at the moment, I'm not interested. I need to process this grief, this emptiness, this ache, this void that I have. So no, I don't have time. I don't have no emotion. I have no fucking interest in whatever you are doing at the moment. I am sorry. Actually, I'm not. Because they keep pushing that to get my attention because I'm usually a very nurturing, loving, providing, validating sort of person. But they do not understand my grieving and my pain and my whatever I'm feeling, and they just like act as if nothing has happened, as this was a meaningless whatever that, and it just infuriates me. Or the other one who drops every little random shit in his life in my DMs, almost blowing up my DMs and just needing validation and my attention. And dude, I'm not interested. I had unfollowed him and I had like a very clear stop this bullshit, I'm not interested, but he doesn't seem to get it. So now I'm just ghosting him like fuck off, I don't care. I do not care. When will you understand it? Another man from my village who, thanks to a chat with a friend on Discord, realized he had met the puppies. He knew that I had puppies from like very early on. Even he didn't tell me that I need to vaccinate them. First offense. He had met the puppies who hated his boss. I really should like. I give credit to them. The puppies were right. He's an asshole, selfish asshole. He keeps calling me on the phone because he has my phone number. He keeps sending me DMs on Facebook, and he doesn't get the fucking memo that I'm not interested in building any sort of relationship because he's being so fucking sly about it, and I hate it. It's like, oh, we could be beneficial for each other and have a friendship or relationship, blah blah. And you know that your neighbor has like 20 years between the woman and the man, and between you and me it's only 10 years or even less. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not. I don't give a crap. Fuck off. And he keeps blowing up my phone, calling me after 9 p.m. or sending me DMs on Facebook. And he has met my puppies. He has seen me cuddle them like babies, like literal human children. And he doesn't comprehend that my pain at the moment is severe, impactful, and just more meaningful than his fucking attempts at flirting with me or wanting a connection or whatever the fuck is going on with. I can't even bother to like give any attention or credit or define what the fuck is going on with him. Like, he's just stubborn. Granted, he's a tourist, but like, let me fucking grieve in peace. If you have nothing of substance to offer, shut the fuck up and leave my DM box alone. Cause and also the other day I was back in the vineyard collecting the last bits of grapes that were left behind. He was passing by his little tractor, and he said that I'm not picking up the phone and not reading his messages. Like, are you that thick in the head that you're not getting the information? My puppies died. He knew that he knew when Mickey passed away. He knew how heartbroken I was. He didn't give a shit. So then fuck you. Of course I will ignore your calls and your messages. If you ignore my pain, I will ignore you like completely. Selfish twat, fuck twat you. And so yes, because I otherwise give attention and validate and always so nice and nurturing, because I'm literally the empress in the tarot card. Like, I nurture, I create, I give, I enhance, I multiply, blah blah blah. It feels like people only see that in me. Oh, Emilia will like it, Emilia will comment, Emilia will give me a boost, Emilia. No, I will not. Please do kindly fuck off. I'm not just here to retweet, repost, listen, give a like, or leave a comment. That's over. Nobody gave a shit when it was important to me, so I'm gonna return the favor, and I'm no longer gonna give a shit what it's important for you. With no due respect, unkindly, fuck off, and go seek your validation elsewhere. I'm done. I'm done being nice. If this is how being nice is being treated, go seek your validation elsewhere with bots and numbers and shit, empty shit that doesn't matter at the end of the day because there's no emotional value to them. I'm done being giving my emotions away to ungrateful bitches who only see like one more comment, one more like, one more validating dopamine boost. I'm done. End of rant. Okay, you know what? A little addendum to my last rant. After the puppies passed, obviously the older dogs, except the mom, well, she was a little worried too, but especially the siblings who were at first very excited for the puppies when they were like babies, couple days, couple weeks old. But then as the puppies grew, there were like a little distanciation between the older siblings and the small batch. But then eventually they grew to like each other, and the older siblings, Slippers and Diamond, were like really playing along with the babies. And Diamond especially was like super stepdad, almost like super caring big brother, and always eating the fleas or like doing what he could to like get the like lick or bite the fleas off the small ones that were like always under his care, like, and the babies really let him do it. Like Madsen and Malachi were like so patient and just like letting Diamond do the flea treatment like dogs would do, and it was like the cutest shit ever. Slippers was a little more reluctant to bond with the babies, but eventually Medve gained her heart. I remember one time Medve had his little white paw on Slipper's front paws. It was like just like, you're my big sister, I'm gonna love you, and you're gonna be okay with it sort of moment. It was just like the cutest shit ever. And after that they were more like playing together and chasing each other, or when the older dogs were like smelling somebody passing in by the front gate on the street, the small ones were at first were like cautious, like staying with me, like what is that, and I'm not interested. But as they grew older and gained more confidence, they were like barking too and participating and running with the older dogs to the front gate or the back gate to like bark at the other dogs or at people. And when the older dogs had the zoomies in the afternoon, a few of the small ones, especially Malachi because he was bigger, started to like participate in that. So they were really in the early processes or moments of really bonding and being a tight knit family, because the two litters, they're two different litters. The small batch was super tight knit, always together, sleeping together, face like always. You couldn't get them apart. There was always three together and one a little on the side, but always in the same like vicinity and always near each other. Usually all four like very close to each other when they were sleeping or playing, or two and two, and they were never really far apart from one another. And so when they passed, obviously the older siblings noticed, and Sleepers especially was very bad in her depression. She wouldn't eat for days. Like she also lost a ton of weight. I noticed she's now getting better. I did order a thermometer on Emag, which is like the local equivalent of Amazon or AliExpress, but more like Amazon. And so I checked her temp. She was okay. I relayed the news to my father, and his answer is, you can refill my shot, my glass of brandy. And I'm like dumbfounded. I'm just, what the fuck? 4 puppies died. One of them has a depression. I was worried that she might have gotten the virus too. I check her temp. I update you, and your answer is, you can refill my glass. Fuck off. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what level of selfish, self-centered asshole are you that you answer your concern about a dog that you apparently love so much because Slippers is his favorite. I forgot to add that quintessential crucial context. Slippers is his favorite, and I update him about her well-being or her health status, And his answer is, "You can refill my glass." Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck off and fuck you. I hope he ends up in hell and Satan fucks him in the ass raw. I'm not even that emotionally bonded with Slippers, and I care about her health more than he does. And that speaks volume about his character. I had gathered that his words are empty just to fill the silence, but this is a whole new level of I hope he fucking dies in a horrendous way. And I mean it. He deserves it. For all the shit that he has, all the pain that he has caused to his family